Hello, I'm working on the Alphabetsuperset challenge, and that challenge tells you to do something with the alphabet, and besides that it tells you absolutely nothing, just to be creative and take a letter a week. But I extended that assignment and made it into make every week one with the letter from the alphabet, but do it on a Pantone card. And besides that, I want to use acrylic paint or acrylic markers, and I wanted to use the colors that match that letter of that week. And this week it's a letter I, so I could use the color like ice cream, if that's a color. But I think I'll do indigo. But since I didn't have like a pure indigo lying around, I thought, well, I'm going to mix indigo, and maybe you wanted to go and check it out with me and want to see how I mix that indigo. And it's going to be an experiment, so bear with me. And afterwards we're just going to paint something on that Pantone card like I do every week for this Alphabetsuperset. And the object will be with the letter I. And since the Pantone color, of not really the Pantone color, but since the color indigo is like a mixture of blue-purple, kind of, it's the same color of an iris, so I wanted to draw an iris, but I wanted to do it just a little bit different than I usually do, or actually I do everything a little bit different, so it's right up my alley. And I just wanted you to join me, so come on, let's go. Okay, well, before we start mixing up the indigo, I just wanted to show you the Pantone card. And usually I use a Pantone card that has a name here, for example, cream, and there's a creamy color here, and then I know it's for the week C. But some of the cards don't really have a name, they only have a number. And well, there wasn't really one with an I or something, so I chose one with a number, and I just made up the name because I thought it looked like some kind of icy blue, icy grayish blue. So yeah, well, that's an I as well, so it's suitable for alphabet week letter I. But put this card aside, I'm going to paint with indigo on here. And indigo, it's a color, officially it's something aware between purple and blue, but most people see it more like a darkish blue, and just when you see it next to other darker blues, you see there's a difference. Actually, this blue is a blue and I, so it should be good enough. It's Indotron blue. Well, I don't really know what that means. Maybe it means some kind of indigo thing. Well, no. Well, I'm going to make indigo blue. Well, the indigo blue, it's from a plant. It's an indigo plant, but it's also chemically made somewhere in 1900 or 1800 something. I think they first started doing that in Germany. But before that, it was like from the indigo plant, and usually from like India, China, and Japan. And one thing maybe you know, but I didn't know. The color indigo is actually used to dye jeans. So that's where the blue came from. Well, I'm not going to do a whole history lesson or a chemistry lesson. We're just here to paint and to mix a color. And actually, I'm just eyeballing it a little bit. I'll just start with the dark blue because this is the color that's most in there, because it's blue purplish. I'll just put it, let me see, I'll just put it in here. Put a fair amount. I'm not going to use it much, but just so you can see it. And I wanted to do it has to be something purpley, and I don't want it to be too purpley. So I chose a magenta, and the magenta is just a little in there because it's more bluish than purplish. I just put it just a little bit on the side just to see what happens if I start mixing it all together. Could do it with I think I'll just use, I'll just do it here with this. I thought I would do it with a palette knife, but I think I'm doing it like this. Just see what happens if I mix it up. You see it turning just a little bit purplish. Yeah, see it's getting, I don't know if you see the difference. Maybe it's easier to see it close. It's getting, see, it's getting more purpley. I don't know if you see a difference. I see a difference, but it's just too purple. I just And mix a little bit more blue in it. Actually, it looks pretty much like indigo blue, the Idotron itself. Okay. Now it's getting too bluish. And a little bit more in there. And this is how I mix my colors anytime, actually. I use a little bit less just to see what works and see what the ratio is when you mix it up. But I used a little bit more for you to see, and I don't know if that was a good choice, but oh, okay, it's this more bluish, and it's really close. Because, yeah, let me see, I'll just take a piece of paper. If I got some scrap paper lying around, I'll just use some scrap paper. Well, let me see. Well, I have a bit of scrap paper here. It's not the best kind of paper. Some scrap paper here, and just let me see if I just take a bit of. It's really dark. Probably see the difference if I put some white in there. Let's put this aside. Well, it's made a mess already. And I just take a different pencil. Okay, let me see, a different one. See, it's a lot more blue. You can see if you see the difference like this. Maybe I should water it down a bit more, so you can see this like purplish blue, and it's like the really blue. And if I put like too much, well, I can actually show you. And if I put a little bit more magenta in there. Don't worry if I have too much paint left over. I always do something with the paint, and I always use the paint up for like collage crepes or something. Okay, if I do this, I got a purpley thing, and just do a little bit of that in there. See, it's getting more purple. So it's tight difference between like doing like purple, doing like more the indigo, or doing like the blue. I'll put some more blue in there to make it more like the indigo. Well, to clean up just a little bit. I have to wash my brushes because more. It's not. It's a little bit too purpley. You should just try it out. I'll just clean my brush. There's just too much paint on there, and then there's too much paint on there, it doesn't really work either. Oh, I look so clumsy in this video. I'm sure you think I'm really clumsy, but I don't really care because I love working like this. I love to experiment, and I love to, yeah, this is what I love to do. So I'll just put this brush aside as well. I think I only one, and I think I like this color. It went actually really easy. I should have toned it down with maybe white, you can see better, but I'm going to paint an iris. And an iris is more purpley than it is like the indigo color. But since I'm doing it a little bit different, it doesn't really matter. Put this aside. I'll take my Pantone card. And I'm not doing like the actual iris. I think I'm doing like more like an invert way. I think that's what it's called when you make like pictures and you do it invert. Then you have like what's black is white or white's black, like you turn it around. Well, that's something I'm going to do. And I'm going to do more like a contour kind of painting. Because it's my challenge and I can do whatever I want to do. But I'll just tape this down first. So. I don't think I'm going to tape it down there. I think it will stay like this. I can do it like this, and so you have like a frame on it. Would it be nice if I frame it? No, I'll just keep it like this. Because when I tape it down here, you get like the ice blue frame, and now I just want to see the flower as the icy blue. And I could just paint it. That's what I regularly do. I like to wing it, but because I'm doing this video and maybe you want to try this as well, I decided to grab a pencil This pencil that I can erase, but also a pencil that will just dissolve in the paint. So this is a fun thing to use. It's just simple Faber-Castell. And I have a picture of an iris in front of me, and I think I'll just start. I'll stop. I'll do it a little bit darker than I would usually use the pencil for. But I'm not going to paint like every line I see. I'm only going to paint like the outer lines. Go to the stem. And when I paint like a picture, it's always a picture that I made myself or that I found like on Unsplash or Free Pick, because those are like free sites where you can get photographs. Because I don't really want to like invade somebody else's rights. Like usually there would be a like leaf here, but I'm just going to outer leaf. And usually the leaf would go like this, but I won't, because this is going to be her stem. So it's like this. But I see it as like, because here are two leaves, there's like a little spot in the middle. I'm going to draw that as well. So I think that will be really characteristic. Because I'm only going to paint like the outside and this little part, just not the iris or the stem, and this like part of the stem itself. I'm going to paint the outside. And yeah, I think I'll leave it like this. And I know this is green, and this is usually like the blue purpley kind of thing the iris has, but it doesn't matter, all going to be blue now. It's my artistic insight. Well, I'm going to blue, and let's just start painting here. And I know I made it maybe a little bit darker than Indigo would be. I could light it up, but I think I like it to be this dark, because you get a real good contrast between the iris, the inside and the outside. A little bit more. Something like this. You won't even notice the pencil I've used. I use this kind of pencil sometimes with acrylic, with watercolor paints as well, because they dissolve. I don't really use graphite pencils for this. Sometimes I do, but that's only when I want to see the graphite. Because when it's like a light acrylic paint, you still see the graphite coming through. First do my way around, and be careful when you paint. Like if you want to do this, don't put your hand in there. So I usually start with this side, but I just go around it. Well, actually I just turn my card a bit to still tape it down sometimes if I don't want the paint to go on the white area. Now I'm going to have a clean crisp line, and I use this purple tape because it's like sensitive tape. And the thing with sensitive tape is that I can peel it off without just getting the paper all just ripped up. Usually I do these Pantone cards and share them on my Instagram. And I don't do many videos of them. I just do it like a quick, like 5 minutes, half an hour kind of thing. But yeah, Sometimes I want to share my play. Maybe you can learn something from it, and I like to inspire. So this, you can actually buy these Pantone cards on like Amazon, or I bought them in Holland, like at bol.com or Be Creative Shop, or I don't even know where I bought them. If I can find a link, just put them underneath my underneath this video. They're really a lot of fun because they're inspirational. You can use them for anything, and if you don't use them, you can just send them out as cards. One thing I should have done, put like a paper underneath this card, because when I get to the edges, yeah, I'm going to like paint on my desk, but as you can see, it's happened before. I don't worry that much about it. And I can like paint it really tight, actually paint it pretty tight around the edges here. But I'm not going to do like nice streaks. I'm doing like different angles, and I'm not even using that much water. No, well, I haven't used any water at all so far, because I like the texture that it gives. See if I do it like a little bit. Don't put my head in front of the camera by seeing if I do the lines right. And you see, because it's like a blue background, and I put like the purplish blue on top, it still gets a little bluer than I anticipated it would be. So your background has an influence on the color as well. Well, if you do just like one layer and a thinner layer. Like you could see, I used the paint, the one with the difficult name, the blue one. It's from Lasso, but you know, it's a lovely paint, and it's a expensive paint. You don't need to, because I love working with Art Creations as well. That's a cheap brand from Oil Talents. Oil Talents also does like the Amsterdam paint. I use it quite a lot as well. And now I use for the magenta, I used the Liquitex, just the Liquitex Basics. And you see, those kind of paints are usually, for this kind of projects, are good enough. More than good enough, actually. And I'm wondering if I just like keep it like this, or do like a little more like streaks in there. I think I'll just maybe a little bit more in the middle, because it always dries up a little bit different than I. Yeah. No, and I have loads of leftover paint. Well, I'm going to make some some collage papers out of it. I still didn't really quite do the end of the lines. You still see a little bit of the lines. I'm not sure if you see it. I see them. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video. I'll just show you. The fun thing is, because I didn't dissolve them with the paint. Remember this eraser? I don't see anything of it. And usually I will just do this with another color within, but I'm not doing that right now, because I wanted to show the icy blue as well. I'm just going to erase it, doesn't really matter. Now this is happened to the card. I should dry it. Ooh, I see something. I want it to have like a more crisp line, so I'll just, yeah. You never know when you're done, do you? And I'll stop before it gets too much. Take the tape off. When I take it off, I just keep it laying flat because then it gets off like more easy. I should have worked on the crisp line a little bit more. I should have dried. And I didn't tape it down too much. The crisp line isn't that crisp as I wanted it to be, but crisp enough. I wanted to show you like up close a little bit more. See, I like a little bit of the texture here, and maybe a little bit of the pencil. Well, this is my Pantone card for the eye week, like the ice blue card with the indigo kind of blue on top, and we painted an invert of an iris. So well, thanks for joining and watching, and if you like these videos, just please subscribe underneath the video, and I'll probably do some more in another week. So see you later. Bye bye.